Hi, welcome back to another episode of Galaxy Gardens. My name is Chrissy, and today I'm going to be taking you to review our Galaxy 7 IPA. We made it a couple weeks ago. We already have a video all about the brew process. Well, it's fermented, has the alcohol in it at this point. We went and carbonated it, and I'm going to be doing a taste test today. I'll be honest, I already taste tested it. It came out pretty good. Then we're going to go outside. I'll show you where the garden's at right now, do a small tour. I'll show you how the indoor garden is going, and I'll talk about some plans we're going to be doing over the next month or so. Depends when something comes in. So come with me, let me show you.
Alright, so according to this tilt, beer is about 1.016 gravity. That's pretty close to where we want the final gravity to be, which is 1.010. So it's almost done fermenting, which means that that's perfect time for our high Krausen edition. So that would be our first dry hop edition. So I'm going to do what a lot of people are terrified of and just barely remove the lid of this thing so I can add these hops. You really don't want to leave this open for too long because of oxidation. And I'm just going to dump them right in. As you can see, this is a very active fermentation.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
And there we go. Some people use hop socks. I've done it before. It works, but you get way less hop utilization, and I'd rather use less hops and get more flavor. And thankfully, you got this guy, so you can kind of dump all the crap out after it's done. So,
What guy?
the valve.
Oh, the valve at the bottom. Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's really the big benefit of these conical fermenters, other than the fact that they look cool. That valve down there helps dump all the crap out of there, which gives you a cleaner final product, and then we'll cold crash it. So stay tuned, we'll show you more. So the tilt is showing that the gravity is 1.006. It's bouncing between 6 and 5. That's actually a little bit lower than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be 1.10. So that means the alcohol content will be a little higher than expected. Well,
Is that necessarily a bad thing?
not really.
We're making an IPA.
Yeah, and especially because the original gravity of this was lower than expected because our pump broke when we brewed this. So the fact that it fermented a little bit extra, whatever, I guess it kind of just makes up for that a little bit. Alright, so it's time to add the second round of dry hops. This is, again, a combination of Galaxy, Mosaic, and Idaho 7 hops. Having not opened this since the last time we added hops, about 4 or 5 days ago. So I'm going to open the bag. Again, you do not want to have this open for long. As you can see, there's no high Krausen like there was last time. I'm going to dump these in, and that's that.
That's it?
Yep. So I just added the last dry hops. I want to give those about 4 or 5 days in here. After that, we're going to cold crash it. So I'm going to set this thing, this glycol chiller right here. We're going to set this to about 4 degrees Celsius and get this down to about, well, that's a little under 40 degrees Fahrenheit. That will separate all the gunk out. Then we'll dump the tube out of that valve, and then we'll be ready to add it to the keg. Alright, so it is Black Friday now, day after Thanksgiving. So we brewed this 15 days ago, this New England IPA, and it's been about, I think, 6 days since our last dry hop edition. So actually earlier this morning, I should have included the clip of this, but I didn't. did get the last of the trube out of there, so I dumped that. Did another trube dump a couple days ago before I cold crashed. And the glycol chiller set to 3 degrees Celsius for this. So that means this has been cold crashing for a little over 24 hours. A lot of people say don't cold crash New England IPAs. They're supposed to be hazy, why would you want to clarify them? And to them I say, I'm not getting rid of the haze proteins. Those are going to still be there. The proteins from the flaked oats are still going to be there. But the hop particles, yeast particles, that's what we're getting rid of. So this will still be hazy despite the fact that I'm cold crashing it. So this keg has been sanitized. It is full of CO2 right now. I'm going to disconnect this from the CO2 tank. The reason I filled it with CO2 is because we do not want any oxygen to make contact with our beer. At this point in time, especially beer that's been dry hopped this much, just the smallest bit of oxidation can actually kind of like make the hops not taste as good. It's something you want to be careful about in any style, but in a New England IPA is probably like the most important style to avoid aeration. So therefore, I just basically purged all the oxygen out of this. And now what I'm going to do is get all the CO2 out of there. And I'm going to leave this valve open so that way this is basically just filled with non-pressurized CO2. So now I'm going to take this thing. It's just a piece of tubing with a keg liquid disconnect thingy on it. I just made a stupid mistake and I put this in the gas side instead of the liquid side, which is not really a big deal, but...
We need liquid out?
Yeah, it's liquid out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm stupid. Alright, and now I'm gonna put this...
It says he's stupid as he's doing an instructional video.
on here. And there we go.
Cool.
And this is gonna take a while.
And how long do you think it'll take?
A couple minutes.
Oh, that's not that long. That's cool. And you already got the gunk out. That's why you can see down here that has some gunk on it. I'll clean that up. So you cut the tube shorter, and is that just gonna make it go in faster?
Alright, so we got the beer in the keg, and now it's time to show off our keezer. So this is a converted chest freezer that we built last summer, and it can hold up to 5 gallon kegs at a time, and the Galaxy 7 IPA makes this completely officially full for the first time in a little while. So I'm going to open this up and show you what it looks like in here. It is extremely crammed. Making this a 5 keg keezer basically made it so that every possible amount of space is used.
Where's ours that we just made?
The one we just made is this one right here. It's the only one that's not hooked up to anything yet. So I do have separate regulators for every keg, which is a nice luxury. So since this is already cold, warm beer doesn't really take carbonation very well. So if we hadn't cold crashed this already, I would say don't hook up CO2 for another day or at least half a day. But this is already below 40 degrees, so it's about 37. So, and this fridge is set to 39. So anyway, I'm gonna hook this up now to the CO2. And because I'm trying to carbonate this quickly, I'm gonna set the PSI to over 30. Hold on. So we're gonna crank this way up. Till we get to about 30 PSI.
Okay, so you turn that PSI up to 30.
Yep.
Right? So what's next?
And the last thing is might as well hook up the liquid. And this will be ready to try, maybe be a little bit flat tomorrow, and by, today's Friday, by Sunday this should be pretty carbonated, and then we'll reduce the PSI to about, for this style I'd say about 12, 13 PSI will be just fine, and that's where we'll keep it. We will be drinking this very shortly.
So this has been carbonated now for a couple days. Really, after force carbing it, which is what we did in here, it would have been good to go in 2 days, but I just haven't been drinking beer. So we're gonna try this right now, and I'll tell you how it goes. If there's one thing I really like about these taps, because, you know, Greg's good beer for one. Got our custom taps here. It's just really convenient to have on hand. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. All right, good pour going on here. Okay, we got Greg here, and we got the beer poured. So we're gonna give it a taste test.
All right, so just poured this out. It's carbonated now, and it's got that nice New England haze to it.
Mm-hmm.
Got some nice fruity, kind of tropical smell to it from the Galaxy and the Idaho 7 hops. Let's give this a taste. Yep, we nailed it. There's a creamy kind of mouthfeel that comes with the flake products. Definitely a lot of kind of like almost sweet body to it, but not too much body. And the big flavors here are the hop flavors. You got some really kind of aromatic, juicy hop character from the Galaxy and from the Idaho 7. So altogether, great beer.
This is earlier in the week than when I'm gonna be shooting all the other stuff. I just wanted to show you this process. Finally finished it. Well, first let's just get a little close-up on Scout here. Absolutely loving life. And here we have Boo. He's actually hanging out with us again. I closed off the Doom portal in our basement, which if you saw our potato harvesting and curing videos, you'll know what that is. So now she's not running around under our house, she actually is hanging out with us. We did it. This is the last wheelbarrow full. Finished mulching the garden. Oh my goodness. What a trek. Look at that. Look at that. Looks so good. Happy holidays to me. We finished quite a few projects over the long weekend. So one of those was adding some more mulch to the strawberries because some of the leaves blew away. So these are all set for the winter now. Our trees didn't need any more mulch because they were mulched pretty heavy. But I'm very much looking forward to, let's get that in focus, how they're gonna look next year. Because all the buds on these trees are super healthy, and right now we're having a very warm start to the winter. We haven't even had any true snow yet. Over here are the mushroom logs I inoculated last week. These two are the lion's mane. And they look pretty good. As you can see, the wax is doing just fine. Over here are the shiitake logs. Also looking good. They haven't gotten blown over yet, so that's a good sign. Now, when I say the back of our property is totally mossy, this is what I mean. Its own little ecosystem here. Isn't that pretty? It's awesome. This is our third log that's been inoculated, or rather a stump than a log, and that's looking really good too. I'm very happy with how these came out, so I'm excited to maybe get mushrooms from it next fall. I'm gonna go ahead and cut to some stuff that Greg was helping me with. We actually mulched over his hops, so take a look at that.
Might as well just keep it going here.
Yeah, the cascade isn't alive, but mulch is good. If you have never seen hops before, it sort of looks like what you could expect. Now initially we have these pieces of rope going to the top of the shed. We're gonna modify that next year with poles, but here's what you do, because we live somewhere that gets snow. So this is a hop vine. We've mulched all around it to the base. You want to do a donut formation like you would with many other bushes, fruiting plants, etc. And this will grow next year. So like I said, with the rope, we're gonna get a couple poles, so they're going more vertically than horizontally. We found that this is a bit too low of an angle for them to grow appropriately. So here we ended up, they didn't look like they were doing that well during the year because they didn't have any mulch around them. They kept getting eaten by squirrels. However, pretty much all of them have survived except for the cascades. The cascades are over here. Right here, it's nothing. I think we're going to replace them with a couple new cascade rhizomes next year. And you can see even over here, I don't know what one this was, but this one did quite well. You can see it wrapping around there. Now what we should be doing is cutting it back to about 6 inches. But they had such a tough start this year because of all the squirrels. I'm just going to let it go, but you can see it going all the way up. It's about there. So the hops came out really nice. Fortunately, today is actually pretty warm. Over the weekend, we'd had temperatures during the day down to like the low 30s, and we had some flurries. But today, it's pretty warm, and everything's looking really good. This is the Fuyu persimmon, and we wrapped that along with the figs on different parts of the property a few weeks ago. It's looking pretty good. Now there is some condensation on the inside there, if you can see that, but that's not from water getting in through the top. So, look into that. I'm sure it's fine. The actual plant's like down here. So as long as down here is okay, I'm not really concerned about any condensation at the top. Hi girls. Coming in to see you. Excuse me. Excuse me. Now most of our girls are very obviously hybrids. I think Bertha may be the only true to breed chicken here. But the reason I say that, because they're going on 8 months old, and Clyde is molting, so it seems. And Meeple is also starting to a little bit. Our ISAs aren't. I got there. So I've been getting them just a little bit more calcium and protein to make them comfortable. They're very warm. I'll actually show you over here. We finished wrapping the outside of the coop. I'm chicken owners with more experience. Yes, you can laugh. This is not the best way. This is not the best coop. We are doing our best here. Okay. Chickens are well taken care of. Ideally, we would have built our own coop, but wood is just so expensive this year. Couldn't afford it. So we bought one. And now we have some wind deterrent. So on the days where it does actually snow, we can hang out in here. We gotta fix the door. But honestly, this pretty nice in there. Except there, I keep patching that with straw and I keep pulling it out. So it's about time to clean in here. It's not super cold yet, so we'll probably do deep litter method, but it's time for us to either change this out or add some more stuff on top. Okay, so you've seen a little bit of this at the beginning of the video, but I wanted to give you a closer view of how the raised beds are doing right now. I love this. I love having the mulching here. It looks so nice. So I'll show you what we're working with. So this bed is a mixture of cut leaves, grass clippings, and then I actually threw some more leaves on top. All of these beds got leaves from when we were leaf blowing. The areas with the straw you can see was from when we planted garlic. It's looking very nice. Everything's filled. Now this will compress over the next several months of winter. And then we're just gonna throw compost and maybe some more soil on top. I do believe at least this bed, I'm gonna say that one might have chipmunks in it. At the time we were building these, I didn't have any extra money to buy like all the wire to put underneath. Yeah, it is what it is. They haven't damaged anything, they're just living in there. The bees that were living here, like on the bottom, were way more of a nuisance than the chipmunks this year. But they look good so far. I mean, so let's see. That one, all the way over there, is the one that's been outside the longest, and there's absolutely no damage to it. These are all looking pretty good. They're a little bit more tan than when we initially put them in. They are treated, God, I forget what it's called. It's like some kind of copper thing. There's a lot of debate on whether or not that's safe for you. I've decided it's safe. If treated pine wood is not up your alley, you can always get some organic hardwoods. You can get cedar. You can treat it with like linseed oil, it'll be fine. This is what we could afford. These are actually all fence posts that we turned into beds, because that's what we could afford. Now this is the only one that's really taken any damage. You can kind of see down here, it's just separated from the stake that we drilled it into. It looks like it didn't make it to be drilled in all the way. So I'm gonna leave it for now because it's been pretty cold. I'll fix it once it warms up more. But so far, first year, everybody's looking good. I hope these last at least a few years. I am just loving having a mulch down here. We'll probably have to put some more on, but for now it covers up everything and it looks so cool. So cool. All right, let's head inside because it's not that cold out, but I want to show you the indoor garden. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've been seeing some semi-regular updates about this greenhouse, and we have some new features to it. So down here, I've actually already been harvesting some chard and beet leaves to use for stir fries. I like the carrot tops too, so I've been cutting those bits. So that's why they're on the shorter side. And I just lifted up their light, but everything is coming in. Just give it some water. Up here, all of the herbs are just doing amazing. I thinned out some of the basil and stuff for noodles. But my sage, that if you remember when I first repotted everything, that was like almost dead, is doing much better now. Everything is doing wonderfully. We have This is some salad burnette, which I've been enjoying, and our celery. So on the latest IGTV I did, I explained what my plans were for these. Basically, I'm gonna thin out this celery some more and start harvesting it. But this is the best celery. This is the best celery I've had in like years. I haven't even gotten it to get this big in like 6 years. So that's looking amazing. Now down here we have our lettuce and spinach, and I didn't harvest this lettuce just yet because I wanted to show you it. Look how absolutely full it is. That is just a little over a month ago from when I planted everything. The spinach is good also. It keeps trying to go to flower. You can see right there. So I've just been pinching those off and it's been fine, but I gotta cut everything back. And a little over a week ago, I planted 2 rows of lettuce and a row of kale, and I'm gonna thin those out as well this week. So everything in this little greenhouse is doing amazing. As I keep thinning out the herbs on top, eventually I'm gonna leave about 2 to 4 plants of each for that size pot, and that's gonna be plenty of food for me and Greg, trust me. And you know, I could dry the herbs. I just really want to make some pesto, and it looks like another month from now we're gonna be making a lot of pesto. So we got the lettuce going, we got the carrots. Now you can see down here in the corner, I have a little surprise for you. These are 2 more bins we have going around the outside. Now over here, the back third of this is broccoli. It hasn't come up just yet. The middle third of it is leeks. And the front third of it is turnips. And you can actually see down here. Let's get that in focus. There you go. Can you see those turnips sprouting? I'm so excited for those. And that is just from being in some damp soil and getting the ambient light from the ceiling, as well as the light that's coming out from the greenhouse. Now in the front here is a little bit of a different situation. So I just added some more water on here, not very much, just to keep the top a bit damp. And I did that because most of this container is carrots. And I'm growing, I believe, a Danvers half long, which I had earlier in the year, and I thought those were really good. And these have only been in here for about a week, so they're gonna need some more time. Actually, I think they've been in here less than a week. I'm gonna say I put these tubs together maybe on like Friday, so definitely less than a week. So these carrots, like the carrots in here in this tub came up in a week. Because they're out here with a little bit less light, I expect they might take a full like 2 to 3 weeks to come up. And over here, probably from like here that way, we're gonna give a go and see if some green beans will come up. We'll see how they do. No progress yet on that. I will definitely show you. This is just experimenting for me. Some modifications I can already tell you that if you want to try growing some stuff outside of your little mini pop-up greenhouse, when you sell all this stuff, you can get some plastic wrap or reusable plastic tops. Just put it over the top thing and make like a little mini greenhouse dome until everything pops up. And then once you see them, you can take it off. You're good to go. So I'll let you know how this is. So now, let's go over to the fruit trees. This is not my first rodeo with fruit trees inside. We actually had not one of our apartments, another one of our apartments, we had this tent inside. I really wanted a guest room. Instead, it turned out to be the plant and storage room. So I've had these inside before. Trust me, if you're gonna do it and you have a garage, put them in the garage. Just figure out something to do with the heat. Save your house from the excess heat that this puts off. But these plants are looking amazing. Let me go ahead and turn this. Now I don't remember what the actual size of this is. I wanna say it's like a 4 by 8, like 4 feet on each side and 8 feet tall. I'm gonna have to measure it again. I know it's at least like over 6 feet. But everything in here is looking good. I made a clone of the Ischia fig, and that's down here underneath our kumquat. And it's doing good. I actually forgot about it after I potted it up, so then I remembered to put it in here after a few days. Over here you can see the jabos are getting their leaves back. They're doing well. I still think, I mean, at this point I might wait to the spring, but these are definitely, I decided that they're going to get a hard cut back, but they're fine. They get their leaves back. The one down here is still doing really good. Up here we still have this lemon, and I've been giving everything some water. You can see those beautiful stripes on the outside are becoming more pronounced. So over time this is going to get a little bit more yellow. So, but I'm going to look online to see when it might be a better time to harvest, because I haven't even gotten one of those yet. Now the lemons do need a bit of a prune as well. As you can see, their leaves aren't really coming in. For this one at least, I want to say it's because it's putting all its energy towards growing that one fruit. Once I get it, I'm going to go ahead and give it a little snip. Down here, you can see my Arabica in the back corner is doing well. Right here next to it is a Canepa. That's doing good. My Chirimoya, oh my goodness. It's so big, I'm so proud of it. When I first got it, it was like, I got 2 of them, and they were about as tall as this little fig cutting here. And the other one, like, I've almost killed them so many times just for forgetting to water them, which is why I'm like very good about it now. It was a couple years ago. Well, the other Chirimoya I had did not make it back from one of my forgetful moments, so always check on your plants at least 2, if not 3 times a week. But started there. Now it's exceeding 2 feet tall. That's pretty cool. You can see some more Arabicas in the back there. Please ignore the spider mite damage. We're working on it. And then I put some succulents and cacti up here. So I have a smooth puntia in the back, and then I have kind of like a regular puntia in the front. I actually started from seeds from green prickly pears. They taste exactly like honeydew melon, like a really, really good honeydew melon. But I got them from seeds from some green prickly pears I got at the store. Oh, look at that, I got a few plants. The smooth puntia in the back, actually ordered 2 paddles online. I gave one away, and then the main paddle I planted in front of the house to see how it will survive over winter. I'm really curious. And then this is a clone from that in the back there, so that's pretty cool. Really, really excited. Even the wax apple, which was in a bit rough shape earlier in the year, absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it's finally in a appropriate sized pot. The last few years it was in like this size right here, or that size that my finger lime is in. So that's in a larger one. Yeah. If you want to get into the fruit tree game, that is a test of patience. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Under here, I'm just giving a quick peek at my figs, and it looks like some of them still have buds. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. I looked at the other ones a little while ago. These you want to keep an eye on. So when you're storing figs and you want them to be dormant, they really don't need that much water, but you also don't want them to get totally dried out. So I'm just checking the soil on these. I might fill this tub. See, that one's still damp. I might fill this tub just a little bit so they can get some root watering. But it's not even something you need to do very often. So that one's good. That one's in good dormancy. But it's better for them to be on the drier side than the damper side. Okay, so I'm back outside and I'm just popping a squat here on this rain barrel stand. We're just gonna leave the concrete outside. I'm not worried about it. Rain barrel's actually in our basement right now, so they don't go through, you know, stuff that's gonna break them. So as far as things go right now, this actually might be the last garden tour of this year. I only did 4 because I made this channel back in August. But once late December comes around, you know, nothing really is going to change. But I will give you some updates on stuff inside. We're going to do a little bit of different types of videos for December and January during like the brunt of the winter. And by the end of January, it's time for seed starting again.
While there's no snow though, just take a look how pretty this yard is. This is the culmination of a lot of years of work, and we're still adding to it. I'd even go as far as to say we'll probably add a place for some wheat. Definitely like more strawberries here. We have a gas line under here, but I'm not exactly sure how far it goes out. Then we have like an electric line that's like perfectly diagonal from the shed to here, which is why we placed the trees over there on dwarf stock. Oh, it's so pretty though. I mean, look at that. Look at the sky.
I got cold outside, so I came back in. I just wanted to say thank you for joining me today, trying the beer, going through outside. On a final note before I go, what I didn't mention was our plans moving forward. So some things we have coming in the mail are giant seed shipments. Giant for me, that's all relative. Like if you're a farmer, it's very small. If you're running a mini homestead, like I am, and like Greg is, it's a lot of seeds for us. We're very happy for that. So we have some seeds coming in this week. Other things I ordered was some grain spawn of some mushrooms. I genuinely don't remember what I ordered. I want to say it was Italian oysters and chestnut mushrooms. And I grew Italian oysters for the first time last year, and they were so good, and they were massive, and we got like so many flushes out of it that I wanted to do it again. So we had like a dead ringer for like mushrooms and eating it, except I'm gonna do a much better system than I did last year. Fortunately, you don't have to see what I did last year, so I'll just show you the good stuff from this year. I think those are the 2 that I ordered, so those are coming in. And really for the next month, 2 months, our focus is on mushrooms and growing stuff inside. And like I said, by the time the end of January comes around, we're gonna be seed starting again. So we might have some more brain videos coming your way. Definitely gonna give y'all some free game about seed starting, garden planning, edible landscaping. These are things I've spent the last like decade working on, and at least in our area, I got it down. And I'm happy to share that with you because I think it's so important for free education to be out in the world. And if I wanted to make some money, I could do like private consultations. That's something I don't even know how to make that happen, but I think I'm in the future. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for being here today. I hope you have a good first week of December, and I'll see you next Tuesday.